Hello, everyone. My name is Barbara Zambelli. I'm a Brazilian geologist and an international young ambassador of the Earth Project. As a celebration of the World Environmental Day in the 5th of June, I'm here with a very special guest for a quick interview, Dr. Cecilia Medupin. Doctor, thank you very much for accepting my invitation. Could you briefly introduce yourself and your work?
I'm Cecilia Medupin. I'm based at the University of Manchester. I am a lecturer with the Department of Earth and Environmental Sciences under the Faculty of Science and Engineering.
So my first question is, why should we care for urban rivers?
The rivers we have is the connection we have to nature. So we have to protect it because, of course, the more people come into urbanized areas, what do you expect? The more the pollution will increase, the more it is likely to be abandoned, the more we have areas that are culverted such that our rivers and we can no longer see them. So it's very important that we should care for them because at least it's a quick place where we can actually take in the nature, take in the biodiversity as well. So it's not only protecting the rivers as the water body, but also protecting the biodiversity and what it means to all of us.
So do you see a connection between access to clean water and gender inequalities?
Who is it that can access clean water? It's the person who is able to afford it, isn't it? In developed countries where we have water, it may not be more of an issue. It may not be really an issue. Where maybe the economy is better, access to utilities are better. But when we look at in other countries, in developing countries, in poorer areas of the developing countries in the global south, then it becomes an issue. Because when we are talking about, even within that area, we go into the rural places where people have limited access and have to travel miles to get such water, or have to actually consider weigh the options of sanitation versus need for other domestic uses, then that becomes an issue. Who are the people who are going to be worst affected? And those are the people who maybe have no jobs, who have responsibilities with children and their localities and can barely survive. And then it means we are actually linking the inequality to the health provision. So if we have access to water, which is not equally distributed globally, then if we're talking about inequalities, then it gives us an opportunity to see who are the people going to be most affected. So I won't say if there is a connection between clean water and gender inequalities. I think is a question of who is able to access it, at what cost, and who are the most challenged, at what cost. I am from Nigeria, and I know when there was no water, we had to go miles to get water. We actually pay for our water in Nigeria. So you pay for somebody to bring you such water.
How can more women in environmental sciences help to deliver the UN Sustainable Development Goals?
The goals are far-reaching. And the fact that we can actually start connecting women under the days actually is the starting point. First and foremost, it helps us as women to be able to know that our input into policy changes are important. And the bigger picture is how can we inform changes based on our own experience, based on our own data collection, based on our own analysis to inform a change we seek. Policies, most policies have been written and designed by men, okay, over centuries, over generations, supported by different institutions. So in these times when we are women doing research, is for us to now accept the fact that, okay, we are in a position of authority through our work to start informing changes, to start contributing to the policy changes. How can what I do contribute to things? So in other words, it's the sensitization and the integration of who we are to what we do.
What do you think it's an action someone can take today, right now, after they watch this interview to help the environment?
So this calls for behavioral change. We need to change the way we do things. If in small measures we start making changes that maybe we reduce climate change, we start making changes, we start making decisions from where we are, from our families cascaded into institutions, then we start making changes that will affect the future. So in other words, what I'm saying is that start where you are. Let's start where we are. Let's stop pretending that we are in denial. Let's stop pretending that we have the resources, we have the money to buy what we want, we can relocate to everywhere we want. There are vulnerable groups of people who can't even access what we have. Today, I will encourage everyone to reconsider, to do what we call eco-proofing, and then start seeing how their little things can translate into bigger things. And not only just the doing, stop being in denial. Stop being in denial and start making effort.